We all know at this point that influencers are having a major identity crisis. They all have the same mannerisms, the same way of speaking, the same cadence, the same facial expressions, and even the same hand movements. And this isn't to say that every influencer does this, but we are going to be discussing this common influencer behavior that we see majority in the beauty lifestyle space. There are outliers, but for the most part, influencers don't just look the same, but they act the same way. And viewers are starting to feel it, and they're kind of getting the ick.
Good morning, you guys. I'm just making my morning coffee. I'm so tired.
People crave authenticity more than ever, and this is made very evident after we see any influencer get canceled. Majority of the reasons are they're just not relatable anymore. They promote overconsumption. I don't want to see, look what I bought today type of content. It's almost giving this illusion of authenticity, but these influencers just don't realize how out of touch they are. So what might be real to them isn't real to the viewer. And when everyone is performing this exact same style of real, authenticity gets lost. We all know that everyone is different, and when people are performing and being the exact same person, it starts to feel a little unsettling. So we're gonna start with something that's small but seems a little bit silly, and it's what people are calling the influencer hand epidemic. So this is basically a trend across TikTok and Instagram, and not an active trend, okay? This is not something they're intentionally trying to do, but it's something that they just end up doing, and viewers start to analyze this behavior. So it's not something intentional, is what I'm trying to get across. But basically, the influencer hands are when influencers start using the highly stylized, stiff, repetitive hand gestures while speaking on camera. These gestures aren't typically spontaneous. They're learned, they're intentional, they're put in this piece of content because, I don't know, I think when you're an influencer or wanting to become one, you start to analyze what other people in your niche do. And I think it's just kind of been that monkey see, monkey do effect. All in all, they're stiff, they're stylized, and they're very repetitive. They don't make sense for the context of the video. Like, why are they doing that? That's the bigger question here. Why are these influencers doing that? And these hand gestures even have names. There's the claw of the talon is like this movement.
The claw is our master. Claw chooses who will go and who will stay.
This is ludicrous.
And you'll see a lot of influencers do that. And it's not to say that we don't always do that when we're talking. If you're a very expressive person, you use your hands to talk, you've probably done the talon at some point in your life. But the thing is, it's not them doing it because that's just how they talk. Would they do the talon outside of social media? Probably not. And all in all, their hands are constantly moving. Even when nothing important is being said, the hands are still clawing, taloning, pinching, tapping. The tapping is another thing that drives me nuts. Or they're just simply floating in frame, floating in front of their face. They're doing the little blah, blah, blah. That's a sound effect in my head when I see people do this. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, individually, none of this would really matter, but when you start seeing it as a collective thing that influencers do, it's uncanny, it's unsettling, and it's just becoming more clear that influencers are just copycatting each other. Where are the real authentic influencers at? Let's watch some videos.
Stop doing this.
That's the blah, blah, blah.
Like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I can't. Like, and this, like, I know I probably do it too, but like,
That's the clock at pinch, guys.
like, stop. It's just, oh my god. This. I don't want to talk about this. The whole pointing like this and being like this and this. Just talk like a normal person. Talk like a normal person. I don't understand. Or, like, why do you even think about it? I can't.
It's true, especially with hygiene influencers. I don't mean to call y'all out, but whenever y'all are going to the Walmarts or Targets and trying to show people things in the store, you're always like, you have your hand out, it's very stiff, and you're just like doing this thing with your hands. Why are you doing that? Why?
All right, here are some things that influencers do with their hands that make me want to put my head on this burner and set it ablaze. First of all,
That drives me nuts.
in what world are we doing that? Second of all, let's go do this. You're coming with me. Let's do it. Let's do it together. You're coming with me. This one. Oh, this one. Let's go. I feel like that one needs like a full dance moment. That one needs like a let's go. Like that needs a leg. That's how dramatic that is. They're filming something on the other side of the camera and it's this. I don't want to see your face. I want to see the product you're holding. Next one. We are going to go here. We are there. I'm going to show you this and this. Let's go. This. They'll be talking like this and then it just comes to a close. Talking about this and it comes to a close. It's sharp and it's aggressive and we don't need to be doing that. Anyway, I don't know if it's anyone else or if it's simply just me, but whenever I see that, eating. Stop. Oh my God, there's so many. When people are trying new food, oh my God, I'm scared. Oh my God, I'm trying this coffee. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared. What are you scared about? You're trying a new food. Anyway, got it out. Anyone else? Thanks.
Oh my gosh, guys. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. Oh, I'm so scared. I tried a new creamer. Okay, here we go. So good. Oh my gosh, guys. Definitely recommend. Check out my Amazon storefront. I think I'm done for today, guys. I'm done. Also, I'm not going to show any specific influencers who actually genuinely do this kind of behavior because I don't want to call out anyone specifically. But if you go on your For You page and you see beauty or lifestyle influencers specifically doing these hand movements, then you can start analyzing this behavior for yourself. But I don't want to call out anyone specific in this video. We are just going to be looking at viewers and how,
oh my gosh, I did the thing.
I'm just going to be looking at creators who have come online and just talked about what they're tired of seeing in the influencer space. But I do want to talk about why the hands exist in the first place, because they didn't just appear out of nowhere. Short form content rewards movement. So this is something that influencers learn as they start growing, as they start posting more content. One of the most important things that influencers try to do is audience retention. That's the most important metric when it comes to any form of social media. And as I was trying to grow my short form content, listening to podcasts, listening to other creators' advice, one of the biggest things they told us was to do a movement right off the bat. So you'll see a lot of influencers like applying lip gloss, and that helps draw the viewers in because they're like, oh my gosh, is she getting ready for something? It's a movement right off the bat. And you will see tons of influencers using that method. Another thing is that hands keep the frame dynamic. They give the viewer something to track so they don't scroll away, or they make the story more expressive. I move my hands a lot. I'm just a natural hand talker. That's just always been the way I am. But again, there are specific influencer hand styles that people use when they're talking, when they don't really necessarily need to do the hands. And then once people realize that, this form of audience retention works really well, it just became a copy and paste format. You'll see a lot of influencers within the same niche doing the exact same movements, doing the exact same gestures, having the exact same mannerisms, doing the exact same forced expressions. And over time, the hand gestures became more stiff, more unnatural. You can tell that people aren't doing them just because that's the way they naturally talk. It's because it's something that works in social media. It's because it's something that's been associated, or it's an identifier of their brand. Some people describe it as annoying. Some people describe it as unsettling. Others say it just simply overstimulates them. And there's a reason for that. And it's because humans are highly sensitive to unnatural movement. When something clearly looks rehearsed, but pretends to be casual, our brain flags that. That's why many people compare the influencer hand epidemic to visual misophonia, an intense irritation triggered by repetitive visual stimuli. This is similar to how vocal fry can bother people auditorily. These fast pinched tapping motions, especially with long nails, cause visual discomfort.
Here are some things that influencers do that I absolutely just cannot stand. And this is in no particular order. This is just how I think of them. First up, the forced vocal fry. We all know that you don't actually talk like this. Just talk normal. Like, why do you have to sound like this? Just use your normal voice. Just talk.
I would like to say that some people just naturally talk with a vocal fry, but if it's forced, if anyone knows that you don't talk like that, stop doing it. Just talk normal. Another influencer behavior that fits perfectly into this influencer identity crisis is the exaggerated food reactions. Now, these would be technically food reviews, but they're not really reviews. They're just food reactions. And I kind of mimicked that after we watched the last video, but that's exactly what it is. People over exaggerate these foods that they're trying, or they act super scared to try something new, which regular people don't do every day. Like, yeah, you could be hesitant to try something that you haven't tried before that, you know, you're not sure you might like, but you don't react to the extent that these influencers are reacting.
Guys, I'm literally shaking right now because I'm gonna try this drink. The fact it's cold is making me nervous. God, I'm literally shaking. Okay. Did it just blow up?
This isn't normal human behavior. That's simply just not how people act on a day-to-day basis. Online, though, it's all performance. And that's why these people are visually more expressive or over-exaggerating more than they would if the camera was off. Because the reality is most people don't eat food as if it's a jump scare. They're not chewing food waiting for that moment where it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. They don't behave as if a well-seasoned meal is a huge religious experience. This is not about food. It's simply about performance. It's about metrics. It's about numbers. It's about keeping the viewers retained. It's about causing reactions because they know people are going to be like, this is over the top. Why are you reacting that way? It's another form of rage bait, if I'm completely honest.
Oh my God. Are you guys seeing this? I'm literally obsessed. You guys.
Influencers do react that way to basically everything, the most mundane of things. They're reacting as if it's the best thing they've ever seen on earth.
Oh. I'm so freaking scared right now. I've never seen anything like this. Like, I'm really, really nervous. I think this is a bad idea. Maybe I shouldn't be tasting this. I'm gonna do it for you guys, okay? Wait, like how do I even like get into this? Like, okay, I'm just gonna like break some. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Are we focused? Are we focused? Yeah. Cheers. Wait. Why is that good? No. Oh. Wow. I am.
Y'all get the gist. Y'all get the gist. You guys have seen that 1,000%, like a million times before. So I'm always wondering, like, why does that food content do really well? Either the viewers have a relationship with the influencer and they, I don't know, seem to want to see their reaction. But in all honesty, I feel like this kind of content just builds intensity. Like, you're waiting for that whoa moment. And the influencers know that, even if it's as simple as a satire video showed, like a potato chip, viewers know what it tastes like. Viewers know that, but they still watch the video because the influencers are performing intensity. A subtle, yeah, this is great, doesn't hold attention, but a dramatic gasp, a pause, hand movements where you're just contemplating what to say because it's that good. They're visibly bracing themselves as if they're going to experience some sort of danger. And then after the fact, they're acting like whatever they just put in their mouths absolutely changed their life. Basically, what this does is that it trains viewers to expect constant stimulation. And once again, creators see that success and they adapt. They understand that neutrality doesn't perform, calm doesn't perform, natural does not perform. If you're just being a normal human, you don't get nearly as many views as someone who's being simply just over the top obnoxious. And so everything becomes heightened and we start seeing it everywhere.
There are so many people that are just the same person on social media. Everybody making like the same exact content is just so tiring. I don't care about the brush you're using or the makeup product you're wearing. I care about why you're wearing it. I care about what you're wearing, if it's authentic.
Why are we seeing so many influencers doing the exact same behavior? And this is something called the chameleon effect.
We basically take on the characteristics, the facial expressions, the hand gestures of those that we see around us. And because so many of us have TikTok, so many of us see the hand gestures and see the different characteristics of us speaking. It makes us subconsciously copy the people that we see. I even think, I think it's called the influencer accent as well. It's where you super enunciate specific words, so you have an accent. It's very fascinating, but psychology can really give us a story as to why people behave the way that they do and why all of us tend to copy each other's mannerisms.
In real life, this is bonding. It's, what you do with your family. You pick up certain sayings and you start saying them yourself. I do that all the time. My husband and his sister, they go on, get out of here. And I've picked up those mannerisms as well. Or my mother-in-law, she says whoop-de-dooey. And I start saying that too. It's just a natural thing. This helps bonding and it helps build familiarity. However, in influencer culture, it's doing the exact opposite. Their coworkers are other influencers. And so what would technically help people become closer in real life, people you see every day, this is just not doing what it's intended to do for them. And their rewards, instead of, bonding with somebody, it comes in forms like views, money, brand deals. It also comes in praise through comments. So instead of mirroring people organically, they mirror what performs. This is also why you see so many influencers calling out other influencers for simply copying their content. They copy the exact style. They copy it word for word. They copy their tone, their mannerisms, their everything, because either they want to be that person or they want the success that that person has had. So they start adopting those things themselves. And this is where the identity crisis begins, because when you're constantly trying to be somebody else, how do you really know who you are as a person? When your income depends on short-term attention, you stop asking, does this feel like me? Is this who I am? And start asking, will this land? And I'm not going to sit here and say that isn't something I think about as well. I definitely try to be myself on my videos, but sometimes I'm maybe not in the mood to film, or I'm not, as excited as I would be. This happened with a video a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. I honestly don't remember. And someone was like, you don't seem as energetic as you would be. And you know what? Yeah, I probably wasn't. I had a really bad morning that morning. So then when people start commenting those things, you start trying to force yourself to be a different person. And I feel like this is more true for short form creators because they're posting a lot more consistently. So instead of being able to just, post once a week, film once a week, and then just be themselves the rest of the time, they're constantly having to put on this performance for the algorithm. And then they aren't sure where the performance ends and then their self begins. So what started as a simple form of mirroring someone else, another creator, they adopted that whole identity. They just don't know who they are anymore, whether they know it or not. So a lot of viewers are getting the ick when they notice this behavior. And it's not hate per se, but they're just getting a little uncomfortable seeing the exact same person just wearing different skins over and over and over again. And these influencers try to be authentic, but you can tell the authentic is performance and it's not true authenticity. The brain starts realizing that it's watching a intentional script instead of a real person. While it's okay to script your videos and keep yourself on track, short form content shouldn't require that much amount of scripting, that much amount of preparation. You might even follow a creator before they get big, and then all of a sudden once the numbers start coming in, they are a completely different person. And you wonder, I wonder why. And it's because they feel like they have no choice. In order to grow, they need to replicate this sort of content.
I started a series called TikTok Things That Bother Me for No Reason, and it's like mannerisms that people have on TikTok that just irk me to my core. Things like or over exaggerating when something tastes really good, or people putting their hand behind a product, stupid little things, as an easily annoyed person. And people are really liking this series. And what I want to know is, why are the videos that have those mannerisms in them, like the tapping things, hand behind the product, why do those videos do well if we're so annoyed by them? Or are there just more people that aren't annoyed?
Now, the uncomfortable truth, and this is something that we've talked about in a lot of different videos, rage bait content videos, videos that just create some sort of controversy, videos that people visually find annoying. ASMR, for example, some people love it, some people hate it. Like Lauren said, why do people keep watching the content if they find it annoying? And it can all be said in one simple sentence. The content doesn't have to be liked to perform well, it just needs to hold attention. A lot of people assume that if something is irritating, it will automatically fail. People won't watch it. But irritation is still engagement. Hence why, I watch a lot of commentary videos about a subject I know will irk me because I'm interested to hear what the other person has to say. Sometimes we just want the drama, we want the tea. Even though we don't necessarily like the topic that's being talked about, we still engage, we still comment, we still like the video. And algorithms are not smart enough at this point to differentiate between I love this content or why is she doing that with her hands? Let me watch more. The algorithm only sees that someone didn't scroll away. They stayed on the video for a set amount of time. And I'm not saying that people don't scroll away because there are a large majority of people that just don't like this content and do scroll away. And even though people say they don't like the content, they still watch it because deep down they're almost fascinated by influencer behavior. They start analyzing the videos, they start critiquing things, they start just, is this normal? And that kind of thing retains people. Another reason that this content forms very well is familiarity. When viewers see the same delivery over and over and over, it cognitively becomes easier to process. The brain doesn't really have to work hard to understand it, and maybe it's just because these influencers are doing very surface level content, not really anything that requires a lot of critical thinking. If we're not seeing anything new, our brain doesn't really get stimulated anymore. It's not thinking outside the box. It's just like, oh, okay, I've seen this before. So your brain can process it easier. And in a world that feels very chaotic, sometimes familiarity is what someone needs, or it feels comforting to them, not necessarily because they find it irritating, but because of that fact. It is comforting, it is familiar, it feels safe. So even though these viewers may sometimes say that they want originality, their behavior often rewards familiarity instead, at least in the short term, until they get to the point where they've absolutely had enough. They cannot watch any more of this bland surface level content and they crave something more. Now, my advice for creators who are up and growing, or if you want to become a creator, stay authentically yourself, because at the end of the day, you're going to grow more into the person that you want to be. If you are constantly trying to become someone else, you're just prolonging your own growth. And if it gets to the point where you just simply don't recognize yourself anymore, you're going to have a lot of catching up to do. We've seen, especially in 2025 and the beginning of this year, especially when TikTok was getting banned and all of those people came forward about how they were lying to their audience, viewers are craving more authentic content. So this means that influencer culture is not dying, but it's simply evolving. Viewers are smarter. They're tired of the same old thing. They want something new. They want something that feels real to them, something they can connect to. And you'll see this all the time in commentary videos, in comments on the videos themselves. They want depth, they want perspective, they don't want the same content that we've talked about today. So maybe this identity crisis isn't simply just an influencer problem, it's a cultural problem. It happens when being liked matters more than being known. And viewers are not asking for perfection, they just want honesty. They want you to be yourself. And the moment influencers stop trying to mirror what's already been done, that's when they'll actually stand out. They'll be the outlier. They'll be the ones that people are seeking out more, connect to more. And while they may not necessarily have the following numbers like these other accounts do, they'll have more of a community. And isn't that what you want? Instead of having hundreds of thousands of followers who don't know you, wouldn't you rather have, a smaller audience who know you more intimately, that know your authentic self? Let me know what you would prefer if you were an influencer. Also, let me know what icks you have that we haven't talked about in today's video. I'd love to read all about those. And for those of you who saw my community post and wished me condolences for me and my family for the loss that we just experienced this last week, I just want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for just simply being there. I really appreciate it. We lost my husband's papa, Tony. He was 93 and he lived a full, vibrant life. Family was the most important thing to him. He always made everyone feel welcome and he was just an amazing, amazing man. So again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for just wishing condolences and just simply offering support to me and my family. I really do appreciate it. God bless you all, and until next time.
Welcome to Plot Twist Please, where we sip, flip, and spill the tea on books and booze.
I'm Beth. I'm Susannah.
And I'm Cass, your trio of book besties, bringing the drama, the hot takes, and a drink in hand every episode.
Whether it's fantasy, romance, or total chaos, if there's a wild plot twist, we're talking about it.
We'll laugh, we'll rant, and we'll probably spiral into a tangent about morally gray characters.
Grab your favorite drink, enchanted or otherwise, and come hang out with us every week.
Because let's be honest, sometimes the best part of a book is spilling the tea about it. Plot Twist Please, streaming now wherever you can get your podcasts.